Hi, I'm Lynn Brakeman.
And I'm Dick Simeone, and we are the co-coordinators in this diocese for the international program Education for Ministry. And we're going to invite you to listen in for a few minutes on an imagined conversation between two lay Episcopalians. And there are a few examples in our little engagement that actually come from real things that we've heard from folks in Education for Ministry over the more than 30 years that we've been involved with the program.
Houston, we have a problem. We can't get down. Remember Apollo 13? Their problem took the grace of God and women and men working diligently to solve.
Well, I do remember that, but what's that got to do with the Episcopal Church? I mean, are we stuck in outer space?
Well, despite being lost in wonder, love, and praise about our liturgy and our music, the Episcopal Church, in fact, hasn't done all that well landing in specifically ongoing faith formation for adults.
Well, you know, there is a lot of work with young people and youth, but sometimes those things are rather short-term, not very lifelong.
Really? I just read an article. It's called A Crisis of Formation by Missy Moraine. She's from the Diocese of Los Angeles. Here is a little bit of what I learned from reading that article. The House of Deputies had it on their news feed from this year's General Convention. So listen to this. Christian faith formation in the Episcopal Church is lifelong growth in the knowledge, service, and love of God as followers of Christ, and is informed by scripture, tradition, and reason.
Oh, so where did she get that from?
2009, our General Convention passed that as a resolution. My question is, are we doing it?
Lifelong. Well, as I said, maybe we're doing a lot with young people, children, but somehow I'm not sure we're doing a lot over the long, long haul. So how does this woman know what she's talking about? What's the evidence?
Evidence? Okay. Here are her facts, and these are not fake news. At our 2018, that's this year, General Convention, there was no talk about formation and discipleship. Now, some of you may know that over the past 9 years, their General Convention has made significant changes in structure and governance of our church. In 2012, however, they chose to substantially reduce the work of the Standing Commission on Lifelong Christian Formation. Not only that, but they cut their budget by $2 million and reduced its staff from full-time 9 to full-time 4.
Well, so much for the 2009 resolution, and apparently only 3 years after they passed it, so one begins to think maybe money goes where the heart is.
Really. But these changes mean that the formation department has only enough staff and funding to work on formation for ages 13 to 30. Do the math. 17 years is not lifelong. In addition to that, in present, there is no specific group truly tasked with specifically engaging lifelong formation for the baptized. No conversation, no legislation.
Wow. No kidding, it is a crisis. But hey, you know, while you've been talking, I've been thinking about something. You know, there is a program already in place. It's called Education for Ministry. and it requires no work or cost to a parish, it seems to have a lot going for it, this education for ministry.
No work or cost, that's good enough. Oh yeah, I did pick up a brochure. It turns out EFM has been around since 1975. They define themselves as a distance learning program for adult formation. It comes out of the Beacon Center of the School of Theology in the University of the South, Sewanee, Tennessee, way down south, right? But wrong. Seminar groups for EFM meet all over the Episcopal Church and the Anglican Communion. Every little group is mentored by someone who is certified and recertified. And guess what? It's also ecumenical. Anyone from any denomination can take this program. There are over 30,000 graduates worldwide. It also offers a very sophisticated curriculum of learning over 4 years. The Bible, obviously all of it, church history, all of that too, and theology right up to date. It's amazing.
You know, now I'm remembering, I had a neighbor a few years ago. He was a businessman. He was raving about this program called EFM that he was in. I actually thought he was kind of nuts sometimes. He was so enthusiastic about it. One day he said to me, do you know, EFM has a premise that all the baptized are ministers. Imagine, he said, me, a minister? He guffawed. But then when he thought about it, he said, you know, EFM has helped me to know that every encounter between me and someone else is a possibility to enhance or impede the flow of the Spirit. And as I think about it, the more I've been involved with the program, I'm seeing myself, I'm seeing my staff, I'm seeing my customers in new ways. I realize I'm beginning to try to see them as God sees them.
Wow. I'm remembering now, this was a few years back. I'm a parent and I serve on our local school board. And I was recently stunned when one of our kindergarten teachers came before the board. She told us she was taking EFM and that it had made her a theologian and a minister. I practically fainted.
Imagine that.
She asked us if she could apply her 18 CEUs that she got from her EFM training to fulfill her continuing education requirement as a teacher. She told us she saw her students with new eyes. I was so impressed.
And so what did you and the board do?
We granted her request, of course, unanimously. But listen, she told us that the heart and soul of EFM is not just academic. It's a process called theological reflection. They affectionately call it TR.
Say something more about that.
TR is like soul food. It's deep. It's what forms us spiritually. It's experiential. It's connecting the wisdom of our religious tradition with our own lived experience. I'm telling you, some of the insights that people get in this program are electric. You know, my best friend has twins. She told me that EFM is, and I'm going to quote her, trying not to cough, EFM is the best thing I ever did for myself in my whole life. She told me, I do mini TRs in the middle of tantrums. I laugh to imagine Jesus or Paul or some of those famous ones we know having a tantrum. She told me, EFM has spared my kids many a whooping and myself from judging my own anger.
How about that? Well, Houston, it appears we have found a way to lay a foundation and substance for our religious tradition and connect it with all our own lived experience to boot. That's powerful. So now, out here in this group, if you are now currently a seminar EFM member, if you are a graduate of EFM, if you are a mentor, just stand up and stay standing for a minute. All right.
Or even if your mother took it.
So now, just look around you, spot those people. There's somebody to talk to over lunch. Or you can come over here to the EFM table. We'd be glad to talk to you about EFM, how you can get involved, how you can encourage it in your parish. And along with that brochure, we'll give you a copy of that really challenging article by Missy Moraine from the Diocese of Los Angeles. Thanks very much.
Thank you.